Ndewo na ụmụ Igbo. For today, I want to talk about residual souls of aborted children and Igbo cleansing rite. What I'm trying to talk about here is ITE-IME, and the accompanying Igbo rite, omenani a na-emere nwaanyị tere ime. That's cultural practices, spiritual practices that we perform on women or individuals that participated in, aborting children. As in the Igbo, we have a couple of moralities, principles that we regard as unso. These unso are like cosmic laws that ensures harmony, and they also ensure order within our social system. When this unso manifests within a community, we refer to it as unso obodo. When it manifests within an individual, between an individual and their cosmic forces, we refer to these moralities as unsochi. Then generally, when it manifests within a probably a universal angle or a global reach, we basically refer to it as unsoane. Personally, I refer to this particular answer as cosmic laws that is universally acceptable. Now, especially within Igbo regions, because there are some laws and moralities, or there are some laws and moralities that are acceptable within a region, but in another region it is not acceptable. So this nsane, it's a universally acceptable laws and norms, but most particular it falls within a geographical area or region. These various nsane includes: do not commit murder, ebunochu; do not sleep with another man's wife; do not take what does not belong to you, ewenife mad. This part of nsane, when we talk about murder, ebunochu, also includes abortion, ite-ime, ite-ime. It also includes abortion. Now, remember that ite-ime is referred to as a sacrilege or a sin within all religious cultures or spiritual belief systems. Therefore, this particular thing is not limited to Ndi Igbo. It is not limited to our spiritual system. But we have separate ways of handling the after effects of this sacrilege because of the residual souls of the aborted children. Now, Christians mainly deal with the remorse of the mother through confession. Ijeje ijeje nkwuputa, taka kwupute njọ gị. That's how they handle this particular thing. Now it deals with the remorse of the mother through confessions in order to obtain forgiveness from God. And in so doing, they are equally pacifying their guilt. The flaw in this model is that it totally ignores the soul of the child. Therefore, it's left unpacified, which means this soul lingers around the mother. And this is what the Dibia sees during Afa before recommending the rites of Epoaro. Now, so obviously, many people have had an abortion, and because of their Christian beliefs, they just go to confessions and they speak out their sins in order to obtain forgiveness from God. But at the end of the day, when that person, maybe one or two misfortunes or problems he or she would encounter, could lead that person to a Dibia. And when the person gets there, the Dibia through divination would see that this nso or this sin is still unatoned, because that child, the soul of that child has not basically ozuberike, he has not reincarnated. It is just there, wandering around. That energy, that soul is still tied to the mother. And this is what the Divya sees. Now, to perform this rite, an individual would first of all initiate the services of a Dibya na Waro. There are two kinds of Dibya that has the mandate or the authority to perform this particular rite. And this is a Dibya that has an affiliation to Nri. It does not necessarily mean that you're from a different community and you would have to visit Nri. No, within each community we have Nri migrants. Within each community we have Nri migrants. Now, because we have Nri migrants, it now means that these people can basically fill this role for you. Once you meet them in your community, they will now perform this right for you. Now, the second person that has this right is an Ezane. Is an Ezane. So it's either this Dibia is from Nri or this Dibia is an Ezane, which is an Ezane is usually an Ezani is usually somebody that has an orphan, is an Akajofo, has a staff of authority to any deities. We call them Ezani. And the first step of this ritual or rite is to call upon the ancestral forces of this individual to come and bear witness. Because when you perform this kind of thing, you need to understand the Igbo process of creation or momo. You need to now know that to Ndi Igbo, we believe that before a person is given birth to, the Ndi Ichie, the ancestral and familiar spirits that would guide this person in his or her journey, are already aware that this consciousness is coming into life. Now, imagine a situation where your late mother wants to reincarnate through you, and you now have an abortion. So you need to now understand the gravity of abortion to Ndi Igbo. Now, based on our own belief system, this is why abortion is a no-no. So imagine your mother is coming back to this reality through you, and you go and have an abortion. What will happen? You're literally killing your mother the second time. So these are it, and they say that this thing is going to basically disturb you because you're literally killing an energy that has been sanctioned and permitted to basically reincarnate. I've undergone all the spiritual process of Omumo. The person's chi, ndi mmiri, all of them are aware, and they are already preparing for, preparing the destiny, everything that's going to direct and guide this child when this child comes to life. And you go and basically clip up all those efforts. So you now see reason why the first step of this rite is to call upon the ancestral forces of this individual to come and bear witness. And after which this is done, the woman will be asked to make a confession. Nyakupute ihe o mere. Now followed by a swearing of an oath that she will never engage in an abortion again. Now secondly, she started with an omo. Omo symbolizes that this person committed an nsọani, onye amela alụ. It is what Omo symbolizes in Igbo culture. So Ageji Omo, they will tie this person with this Omo. They are going to untie that person once they are done cleansing that person. Now, after which they will begin the untying rituals. While at the same time, they are absolving her from all the wrath of her forces. Now they will now use a black animal, abuke. It's a well, category or species of okoko, of a hen chicken, and they would use that abuke and they will cleanse her and some leaves and all those things, and they'll be saying some certain things. So that at that moment they are absolving her from every residual route that is going to come from that child and all her forces. Now the most important aspect of this ritual is the use of autopsy. Now autopsy is a mechanic that is used to speak to Annie. Eji autopsy agwa Ani okwu in order to free the individual, which would allow the soul of the aborted child to move on. Now, people that needs to be part of this ritual include, because it is not just the woman that did the do. You understand? There are men that would say, I'm not ready for this. So you have to go and abort that child. So that man has to be involved in this process. The man or anybody that paid for the abortion would be part of this process. The medical practitioner, the friend that recommended a hospital or a chemist shop for the of the drug, and any other elements that contributed in one way or the other, all of them will come and perform this right. Now the thing there is that it is not a must that all of you would collectively do it at the same time. You as the woman, if you go for divination and it comes up for you, you perform your right and you move on. Now, those people, you can actually inform them and tell them that they are supposed to go and do their own. So it is not a must that all of you will hold hands and do it exactly at the same time. Ihe kpawa mmadụ ya ha eje chọba ihe na-achọ ya. But these people, all the people involved in this abortion process, they must they must perform their own rites. Now, abortion is also one of the key contributors to this phenomenon of Obanje, because if the soul of these children do not move on, they remain attached to the mother, and they can now become a menace to everybody that is involved, or anybody around. You understand? Now, when I talk about Obanje, we will now understand that these are souls that just remain. They've not moved on, they are just there, and they will just be plaguing the mother. The woman will get pregnant today, lose the child, or the child will come to life, get sick and die. These are a universal effort trying to point the mother to the right direction. Now, don't forget that Obanje has different categories. So it has different categories. So this category of ụmụaka etepụ n'ime, they are there because they are there to serve out a cosmic punishment on the people that offended them. So these are just the rationale behind the residual souls of aborted children and the Igbo rite of Ekpoalo. So if you like these kinds of information, don't forget to follow and subscribe to my channel. Yagazia.